Hello, everyone. I'm going to check the sound on my end, wait for some of you guys to come on in here. We're going to talk a little bit about, this meeting with Candace Owens and Erika Kirk. Something is off. Something in my spirit just ain't right about this whole thing. We're going to talk a little bit about. Okay. Hey, guys. Welcome in, everyone. Put a like on the video, subscribe to the channel when you come in. And I'm going to take care of a few things, and then we will get this party started. Something just, I don't know. I've been agitated all day, guys. I don't like this. I don't like this meeting. I don't like it. Something is weird with the kids. I've been questioning this for a long time. It's just that I've never really wanted to go there. Something's very strange with Candace Owens' children and Erika's children. And there's something weird about this whole thing. It just doesn't feel right. And that's why I kind of stopped doing the videos, because it just didn't feel good. There's something that feels icky, gross about this whole thing. I don't like it. I don't really know exactly what that is, but this is what we're going to explore in this video today. So I'm going to wait for some of you guys to come on in here. I'm just going to take care of a few things here on my end. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Subscribe to the channel and like the video, please. Something just ain't right. Something ain't right, y'all, about this whole thing. That's why it was like, we got to pivot away from this psyop, because there's something bigger going on here, and I don't like it. I don't like this thing at all. I don't like it. I don't. Okay, let me see. All right. Welcome in, everyone. We'll get started in a minute. I want to make sure I give a little bit of time. We'll start in a few minutes. And I'm just going to chit chat and wait for some more of you guys to come in here. Welcome in, Sister Sonia. Welcome in, Amy. Welcome in, Ted. Welcome in. Is it Liberace fan? Welcome in, Gail. Welcome in, Sister Gail. Okay. All right. I'm going to try to get to the bottom of this. And if you guys have any questions, about the psychic investigation, please put it in the comments section. I want to really ground into these energies this evening, because, I just don't feel good about the whole thing. This meeting, like, my stomach is turning, and there's something wrong about the children in all of this. And I've been saying this for a long time, but I ain't here to talk about no people's kids, but something just is not right. And I'm not going to say that we know something ain't right with Erika, but there's something in the pit of my stomach that's also not right with Candace Owens. And it's not that, is Candace Owens exposing a lot of truth? Yes. We know that. We get that. But I'm telling you, I want us to zone out. What the heck is going on right now? It's given psyop, and it's given both sides are in on it, whether they know it or not. Whether they know it or not. Okay, give me a second, guys. Welcome in. You too? You don't have a good feeling? Your stomach is turning? Yes, I don't have a good feeling about this meeting. I don't know. Something is weird. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. I got to figure this out. I'm not vibing with this. I am not vibing with this whole meeting thing, what are you meeting about? You gonna write Candace a big check? That's the only thing you can meet with her about, to shut up. Seriously, like okay, right now we're just going to just literally use common sense. And it feels like, a lot of people are not using common sense in this whole thing. Candace has been talking for all this time. Like I said before, sources saying that half of this stuff she's saying is true. Now, does she have a few of the details, wrong? More than likely, but the story is true, minus some details that could be, either over exaggerated or missed or not included, right? But the general gist of what Candace Owens is saying is true. So Erika Kirk knows it's true. Turning Point USA knows it's true. The government knows it's true. So what are you meeting with Candace Owens for? Unless both of y'all are in on this thing, or are you going to write her a check? Like, let us be so for real, guys. Let's be real here. Erika Kirk she's over here in Vermont in remote viewing towers, reviewing YouTubers. If she's reviewing us, remote viewing us, what you think she's doing to Candace Owens? Like, let's be so for real. In what world would a meeting, a face-to-face meeting with these two ever turn out to be good? Candace can smell Erika, and Erika can smell Candace Owens. So what are you meeting about other than to work together? Do you guys see what I'm saying? How it's weird? Or tell her, yes, thank you. Thank you, Ted. Is it Ted? T-Y-E, die for tells. Yes, sorry. That part. Or you gonna tell her he's still alive. That's the only, I was literally thinking about that, and that came up in the automatic drawing, which we are going to talk about today. I did some more psychic drawings, guys, and we're going to talk about it because Charlie's still showing up in Erika's field. So it's either you're going to cut Candace Owens a check and y'all going to work together, meaning Candace Owens is going to know what's up. And this is a peace offering. It's a check. Or y'all gonna go, just fight, duke it out, whatever. And that's not gonna happen. Because they've been playing spiritual chess together this whole time. Or you're gonna tell her the truth about Charlie Kirk. And maybe what she's gonna say, what Erika's gonna say is that Charlie's okay. He's in an undisclosed location. He's fine. Charlie has a message for you. Maybe some little code word. I'm getting this now. I'm a conscious channeler, so I channel from my conscious mind. Maybe there's some code word that Charlie and Candace have for if something like this ever happened, meaning one of them go missing or getting kidnapped. I think there's some sort of code word that only the two of them would know. It feels as if, I don't know if I'm remote viewing this. I don't know if this will play into this situation, but I am remote viewing that Charlie and Candace have a code word for situations like kidnapping, like being held hostage. And this is how you would know if the person was okay, in a medium danger, or in severe danger. I am getting that. That's coming through very clearly. So I'm remote viewing this. I don't know if that word will be pulled out during the meeting, but it's giving this meeting is a freaking lie from the pits of hell. That's what I'm getting. I'm so sorry that I can't even get into the psychic investigation because my spirit, my spidey senses is telling me this meeting is a publicity stunt from the pits of hell, girl. And it breaks my soul. Guys, do you know how, I don't want to come on here and talk about Erika Kirk or Candace Owens ever again. I don't. I really don't. And it frustrates me that I have to come on here. And everybody's like, oh, they're having a meeting. Guys, it's a setup. The meeting is a fake Why come I can't say publicity? See, they don't want me to say publicity. It's a publicity stunt. Is it part of the severance package that you're giving to Candace Owens? Because you know that next show is going to be real big, right? It's a publicity stunt. That's what this meeting is. That's what it is. Oh, your name is Crystal. Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Okay, I'm reading. Why did Charlie agree to this, and why did they make it so public when they knew it'll be highly scrutinized? Was it a ritual for Charlie to move up in the ranks? Abundantly empowered. Thank you so much. I'm going to tell you what happened, guys. There's only probably 60 videos in the whole psychic investigation series. There's a playlist, and you guys can look through that. Here's the thing. Charlie was forced to do this, but I think something went wrong. Charlie was not supposed to be harmed in this or die or consciousness extracted. That part he didn't know about. But he was to do his duty, to do this whole thing, because remember, guys, the whole thing, we got to bring Trump back from the very beginning. The whole thing is that Charlie Kirk, I found Charlie Kirk in Donald Trump's energy field. 3 weeks before the Charlie Kirk incident happened, I was dreaming like almost every night that Trump was passing away, and then I was writing the word also JFK, like JFK style JFK. But it wasn't Trump. It was the, Charlie Kirk psyop that I was dreaming about. But Charlie Kirk was heavily in Trump's energy field, and this is why I kept pulling the energy of Trump, even though it was Charlie. Charlie was a sacrificial lamb. Make no mistake about it. Trump, the government, psyoped him. He had no choice but to play ball because they were going to use the event as a political incident, just like the Democrats used the George Floyd. George Floyd and Charlie Kirk have the same birthday. It was a ritual. Where it is today, something went wrong. And that something that went wrong is what I've been pulling in the past few, kind of psychic channels, automatic writings, that something has happened with Charlie Kirk's brain. Now, this could be mind control, right? I see them taking something out, and they could possibly be putting something in. I was getting very early on a transferring consciousness, his consciousness transferring over to another vessel, another body. Or, it's like the new way of making clones is you don't actually need to switch bodies, but if you switch the consciousness and you switch the memories, implant different memories, you could technically have a whole new person. And then therefore they are a digital, almost like a digital footprint of the old self. So there's so many different ways that they could spin this thing. But to be honest, guys, that has shown up in these psychic drawings. And I'm going to bring that back to you guys. Boy, I just thought about something. I have another channel where I'm actually technically supposed to be doing these kind of videos, but I just didn't. But that channel probably would have gotten a lot more subscribers had I did this on that channel. But I just started doing this on this channel, even though I was supposed to put it on the other channel. And by the way, if I get the 500 subscribers I need in that channel, then I'll start doing more of those videos. So I never tell you guys this, and I totally just keep forgetting. But you can subscribe to that channel. It's what? Karmic Justice TV? Yeah. But I haven't posted in a few months. I've just been putting little shorts from here over there. But when I get the 500 subscribers, I will go live on that channel and do a lot more digging into different celebrities where we take them to spiritual court. So, anywho, guys, I'm going to show this to you guys because Charlie Kirk is still showing up, but as before, he was showing up as part of the psyop. He's now showing up as a full-blown victim. And to be honest, he's looking dead. I'm be honest with you. As before, he wasn't looking dead. but rather too, I was able to, kind of talk to his Akashic soul, which you can talk to anyone's Akashic soul. They don't have to be, passed away. But I'm telling you, as of 11:20, this man is looking, either he's on his last breath, dead, sedated, mind controlled, consciousness switched. Something ain't right. And this was the part of the thing that Charlie didn't agree to, because Charlie didn't know about this part. Because once you sign up to play in the big boy sandbox, because Turning Point USA was too valuable, the government sees that company. And this is why you got Erika, showing up to all the governmental events with Trump and Vance and all of that, because she co-signed the sale of this thing. When the government wants to seize something, they have the right to do that. They seize properties all the time through what? Eminent domain, where they tell you that they need the property to make something of like, like if they want to make a governmental building or something like that there, then they can do that. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with companies. If the government needs your company, I'm pretty sure there's a law somewhere that says, you have to give it up, So did they get paid for this? Yes. They will compensate you. Absolutely. But these are the little things that, Charlie Kirk didn't know about all of this stuff on the back end. And I'm telling you, there's something that I keep pulling about the military and Turning Point USA. Goes back to, this woman, we're going to get to Charlie in a minute, but let me stick on Erika Kirk. Something about Erika Kirk and the military. Remember the Romanian angels? Guys, I don't know why every time I want to say that, I like literally in my mind says Romanian devils, because that is who was literally over there. A devil, a demon. It wasn't it wasn't anything angelic going on. Somehow this Romanian Angels foundation that Erika Kirk worked for Trump, and she was like, kind of the face of that. Somehow that involved the military. The military were also, giving out gifts to the children and stuff like that. Something with Turning Point USA, I keep pulling up a military thing. It feels like there is money being funneled, like, for the military, but it feels like, I'm telling you, it's like these secret missions. Yes, it's military, but it's not the military that just, that we know. That it's the military things that they're doing on the low. You know what I mean? And maybe they'll send the military in to do a secret operation or something. That's the vibe that is given. But make no mistake about it. The military is getting funds through Turning Point USA, but it's to do these secret operations. And it kind of makes sense, because remember that whole QAnon thing where, the government, the tribunal, board was supposed to be using the military to take down all of these pedos and traffickers and all of that stuff. It feels like something like that, but, a little different. And then we get the Egyptian planes, right, that we're tracking, Erika, which she didn't actually deny. She kind of skirted around that. But then that was also, too, some people are saying online that, Israel actually, has some Egyptian planes because that are part of their fleet. So for all we know, it could be Israel. So I'm just saying that this woman, every time we see her, there's something military. Guys, is her parents involved in the military? Is her family lineage go back to the military? Every time we put Erika Kirk somewhere, the military follows. There's something with her and the military. They're like a pea in the pod, girl. Something of that nature. So here's the thing. I'm going to show you what I saw about Charlie. Now, this automatic drawing I did of Charlie Kirk, the last one I did was on November 20th, guys. And maybe this one was freaky. This is like Freaky Friday good, where it's like his whole face showed up in the drawing. Guys, when you're automatic drawing, I don't know what I'm writing. I'm literally spending all of 30 seconds. I'm just, you don't know. It's not till I look back at it and it tells a story. You can't make this up. This is Charlie Boy's face. Look at his nose here. That's his nose, and it has that little indent, just like Charlie has in his nose, and it kind of protrudes out and then goes in. That's Charlie Kirk's nose. That's his mouth. This is where his neckline is. And if you look here, if we covered this up, let me see, so you guys can see. That's his face. The nose. Look at the nose. Nose. That's his nose. That's his mouth. You can't make that up. But this was the first time that, as before, I just psychically knew they were doing something with, they were going to do something with his consciousness. But this is the first time as of last month it actually showed up in the drawing. And there's something here that went inside of his brain. So they've already started some work on him. And during this, that nose do not lie. Crazy. And I saw him going through some sort of electromagnetic shocks where they were, literally had him like on a chair and, all of that. So this could be, the beginning of either the conscious transfer or the mind control, or maybe just to get him back into compliance. But that's not it, y'all. He also shows up down here. Look at how he looks after the electromagnetic shock. He looks practically dead. There's his mouth turned down, his nose, and one eye. That's Charlie still. You can't make that up. Now, here's the weird thing about the whole situation. Today, I did Erika Kirk. And I'm going to show you what's still showing up. This is Erika. Look down here at the bottom. This is a face. Now there's two eyes here. The mouth is still kind of turned over. This is a face. There was his face down here. Showing up on the left side. This one just happens to have two eyes, but it's still a face that is showing up in Erika's field. It's given the vibe she's hiding Charlie. Look at all these X's. You guys know that what the X's stand for. It's the mutation of the cross. Ritual, lies, demonic acts. It's the inversion of the cross. This showed up in some of her early drawings. This is all spell work. It's like that bagpipe energy. This is all spell work showing up in Erika Kirk's field. And Charlie's nose is still showing up. Look, that's his nose. Look here. This line kind of hangs a little bit, comes in. That's Charlie's nose. Look at his nose there. Hangs down a little bit. That's his nose. Hangs down a little bit. Showing up. She's hiding Charlie. There's that face again at the bottom. This was what I found in November in Charlie's field. That's him. Erika has him in her field. Erika's hiding him. You can't make it up. She is hiding Charlie. Also, too, some weird mirroring energy here. I don't know if she's mirroring Candace Owens right here. These are two faces. They're kind of face to face. This is me pulling this energetically. She's mirroring someone. That's what I'm saying. There's something weird with this meeting. It's like she's mirroring Candace Owens. But She's also doing spell work on Candace Owens. We pulled that a long time ago, still showing up to this day. So what kind of meeting will this be if Candace Owens doesn't decide to back down, or if she's not also in on it and it's just for publicity? Then Candace Owens is going to get a double dose of spell work and this mirroring spell whatever, because Erika needs to take not only Charlie's energy, she needs Candace Owens' energy as well when we zone it back out. When we zone it back out. When you look at E, see guys, things are hidden in plain sight. The universe is always speaking to us psychically, spiritually. This is an E right here, standing for Erika. It also looks like a 3, but let's just say this is an E. This is also 2 C's as well, Candace and Charlie. If you look at the letter E, if you were to put 2 C's together, you could make an E. So this is how, when we start to really, tap into our spirituality bag, these are the things that we put together as a psychic investigator. I said a long time ago that she was doing spell work, not just over Charlie, but Candace Owens. If Erika Kirk is trying to reign supreme, and she knows she doesn't have the talent that Charlie or Candace has, but if she can steal their energy, if she can mirror them, if she can do the spell work, if she can do the rituals, if she can play the game, then she can gain not only, remember, I channeled this a long time ago. There's a plant that Erika Kirk, it showed up. There's some sort of plant, and it led me back to the name Erika. Like a Erika plant. It's something, guys. It's back in the playlist. But what it does is when you grow this plant around other plants, it kills off the indigenous plants. That's who she is. So if you were to put Erika around Charlie and Candace, they're the OGs in the game, it would literally kill them off. She's a natural disease to their energy. This is like when you do psychic investigations, when you have all your psychic, powers, you can put these things together. She needs not just Charlie's energy. She needs Candace's energy too, to magnify the E, to magnify who she is. And also when we go back to that plant that I found, when she is planted with the others, she literally is like a succubus spirit. It like literally detonates whatever you were supposed to do, whatever, goodness you were supposed to bring. And it literally sucks that and takes it for itself. And you die off. That's who she is energetically on a spiritual level. So knowing who Erika Kirk is, she's literally like a poisonous vine is what I'm getting. A poisonous snake. She's a upsert, what do you call it? A succubus kind of energy. So, and then we traced her back to this Norse, in Norse mythology, this god that was over the fertility. But this god, I believe, has a dualistic nature. Half of it being, it's like a dualistic like duality thing. Half of it being good and half of it being bad. This also goes back to, I'm telling you, there's something with the children and the fertility that it just doesn't sit right. Not just within Erika Kirk, but Candace Owens as well. Because remember, when we looked into the biblical template, this is much larger than what we see here. See, Candace is Rebecca from the Bible. And Charlie is holding major codes to the Esau bloodline, which we know that Esau and Jacob were birthed from Rebecca, which would be Candace Owens. Candace Owens, in some lifetime, went to Erika Kirk when Erika Kirk was not Erika Kirk, when Erika Kirk was this god from Norse mythology. And I don't know what kind of offering, I don't know whatever she did, but this helped her to conceive, but it also kept some sort of karmic debt. This is what we see playing out. It has nothing to do with Charlie. There's a karmic debt between these two women. This is the year of the 9. We're going into a new vibration next year, and also we're entering into the new age fully. So this had to play out like this. In the mirroring, right? What do I talk about? Looking at the karmic mirror at the end of an age, right? So that you can clean up all the rest of the debt, right? This is what we're looking at. I don't think, of course, they know that, but there's a karmic debt here. And it has more to do with fertility, right? And something that Erika Kirk feels that Candace Owens owes her, because we have to think about it. Back then, if you were to give birth to sons, and those sons would, be, leaders of empires, and, the sons were very respected, then you would turn around and actually get riches and wealth and all of these things. So men and having children, especially boys, it was power, it was money, it was status. So this is what Erika Kirk's soul feels that Candace Owens owes to her. So when Erika Kirk gets on these platforms and says, oh, well, she's been making hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode, therefore making millions off of this. That's where that's coming from. Because it doesn't compare to the over $100 million that Turning Point USA has brought in. It's stemming from, you still owe me from that, whatever work I did back then. See, Candace Owens' soul was okay with the spell work and the rituals when it was bringing her, sons, allowing her to birth sons and daughters. But now everything has to get paid back in full. You see what I'm saying? Like I wanted to take you guys back a little bit so we can see, how all of this, makes a lot of sense. So this mirroring energy I pick up is the two of them looking within the karmic mirror. There is something old. There's something due from a past, lifetime or, timeline even. And that's what I'm telling you. There's something strange about the children, because the children that Candace Owens has, and in some regards Erika Kirk, is still attached to the ritual and the spell work that was done in another lifetime. That's why I keep pulling something very strange with her children. I'm talking Candace Owens' kids. There's something weird there, y'all. And I've actually come to grow a lot of respect for Candace Owens through this psychic investigation. But I have to be honest, y'all. These children don't feel all the way real to me. And it's not that I don't believe that they're not real, but there's something not right. And maybe I can't all the way pinpoint it yet, but it feels like their existence is shaky. Like, now you see them, now you don't. Like, they're here, but they're not. Like, do you see what I'm saying? There's something strange about the children. And I hate to really go there, but I have to tell you guys, there's energetically, it doesn't feel that Candace Owens has all these kids like they say. It feels like there's 2, and then there's a replica of the 2. It's weird. It's like there's the 2 kids, and then there is a manipulation for the 2 more. That they don't feel real to me. I don't know what it is. They don't feel present, like soulful children. How could this happen? Now, we could say sometimes when people do the in vitro or whatever, there's theories out there that the children aren't all the way may not have soul and spirit like us. Or what we could be feeling, what I could be feeling, is that these children are being withheld energetically, almost like there's a yoke from Erika. Thank you, Source. No, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what it is. There's two of Candace Owens' children. Erika Kirk, I don't know how she did this. This is a spell work. I feel this so deeply. This is a spell work. Those children that Erika Kirk has, I told you, she did not give birth because she cannot. I'm telling you. I don't know where these children came from, if they adopted them or if she did in vitro. I don't know. But I'm telling you, she's done something to Candace Owens' children. This is why I don't feel a spiritual pulse from at least two of them. Because there's something that she's doing to those children that is powering the children that she has. Or it feels as if, as I see it, it's like, okay, if I were to put a you know, like a chain around, like, if Erika were to put chains around her two children and they're linking to two of Candace's children, the two of, you have to understand, if Candace has 4 children, there's only 2. And I'm not saying there's not 4 little children, but I'm telling you, energetically, there's only 2 showing up. Because we got to go back to, there was some, in some lifetime, Candace Owens went to Erika Kirk. Obviously, they're not Candace Owens and Erika Kirk in this lifetime. They're different people, obviously. But I am telling you, that's all coming back to play in this lifetime. And it's affecting the children. Do you know how they say the sins of our father, you know, that affect the children? There's some sort of payback that the Erika Kirk energy is almost holding Candace Owens, the vibration of these children are almost stagnated because it feels that Erika Kirk is using this as leverage. So there are 2 children. You got Erika Kirk's 2 children, and then and 2 of Candace Owens' children are literally like this. If one moves, it's like they can't move. Like, do you guys get what I'm trying to say? It's the spell work. It's the thing that whatever work that she did for Candace Owens in that whatever past lifetime is now affecting 2 of her children in this lifetime. And Erika Kirk's soul is saying, your children, I'm not going to energetically let them go until you pay me back whatever it is. I don't know what was promised during the time where, you know, that past lifetime where Candace Owens was going to her for, you know, to help her give birth. I don't know what was promised, but I'm telling you, this is why I feel some weird energy surrounding Candace Owens' children. It feels like they're being held. They're being just held. They're just energetically until this spiritual war is settled. The children are being affected by this thing. This is what we say, that, you know, the generational curses and the ancestral curses. This is the things like, you know, and I know this to be true because this is literally the work that I do for a living, where I find out these things. We're seeing this thing happen in real time. That's what I'm saying. So there's something that Candace Owens must do to get her children free. And what do I always say? Remember Charlie in the chocolate factory? All those other kids that went to the chocolate factory, they got the golden ticket. They were brats. They took from the candy factory. They felt entitled. But see, Charlie was just there for the experience, right? And he didn't even want anything from Willy Wonka. And it was because he didn't take anything, or he was even willing to give back the chocolate, that Willy Wonka came and then he gained everything. This is what I see. Candace Owens needs to somehow understand what's going on, that this stems from another lifetime, or I'm hearing a life path This was an entirely different life path that, happened, of course, in a past life, but it's a different life path, as Spirit gives reference to. She's going to have to give it back. Whatever she took from Erika in that past lifetime, or whatever work that Erika did for her, you have to return it. And when you return it, it's like I keep saying, it appears that you have less here in the physical. But then that opens up the door. When you return it, what steps in? God steps in to magnify you because you were willing to give it all back. This is what I'm saying. So this is just to let you guys know why the weirdness around this whole thing. Why is this so big? Because on some level, this whole curious case of Charlie Kirk has been representing the collective. The collective children are going through a birthing. We're going through literally a death and a rebirth. And this is why this is all over the internet. You can't make it up. Spirit is here. Spirit just doesn't lie. It's because in some regards, half of us are like with the Erika and half of us are with Candace. Because it's a collective energy we're looking at. But remember, Candace is one of the mothers of humanity. Being in the Rebecca from the Bible energy, of birthing the 12 tribes of Israel, with the Jacob, which later became Israel. And then Esau as well. So it would make sense that a time like this, where we're going almost into a new world. So there's an ending of one thing, a death, and then there will be a birth of something new. But everything has to get paid back. And then so you can birth out onto the higher vibrational plane. You can't be going into the birth, holding on to the old stuff. This is what we see playing out with Erika and Candace Owens. There's literally, we look at these as collective energies. So when we look at Erika Kirk tracing her back to the Norse mythology, this god, is it Freyr, Freyer, which was literally involved in fertility, and we're going through a birthing season, a death and a rebirth. And so this is why these two energies are literally coming head to head. This is what we are experiencing. And this is why this thing, like, I get something in the pit of my stomach. It just doesn't feel good. And now I think I understand why. And remember, Candace Owens was Rebecca from the Bible who birthed Esau. Well, who does Esau of Charlie Kirk is representing Esau? Well, who now does Erika Kirk have in her possession? Charlie. She remembers. Her soul rather remembers. It's almost like I'm going to hold on to this as collateral, Candace. And you're going to get access back to your children. So 2 children, but I'm telling you, it's like there's only 2 children. The other 2's energy is being drained and withheld and attached to Erika Kirk's 2 children. Should whatever not happen the way that this Erika Kirk needs it to or wants it to, it feels as if she is in position to siphon birthrights and blessings from Candace's children, and not just the 4, because what I'm seeing is that the first 2, the next 2 were birthed out of that energy. It's weird. I don't know if we were to look at these children, if 2 of them look alike and the other 2 look alike. It's something very interesting, but what this whole thing that I just gave you guys is where this is stemming from. You can't make none of this up. But Erika Kirk has one of Candace Owens' children under her control. Charlie Kirk, to this day, still showing up in Erika Kirk's energy field. Whether he is, where's his nose? There's his nose still. There's that face still. Where'd it go? There's that face still. There's him. That's that nose. Oh, that's the mouth, and the nose is here. Undeniable that this is Charlie. Undeniable, this is Charlie. So this is what we have. But here's the thing. It's not just the children. It's also, too, what Erika is saying now. I got Charlie. I got a yoke around your 2 children, which technically is 4. There's something really weird with that. And also now, if you don't comply, I'm going to also do this spell work on you and get you as well. Everything has to get paid back. There isn't any way to go throughout any lifetime, and whether you pay it back in this lifetime or another lifetime. This is why the spell work will never pay. It's never good to do spell work on people. And it's never good to go to these people for, wealth. And I don't care, the witch doctor for wealth or whoever it is. Because it all comes back. That's what we're seeing. We're just seeing some work that was done in another life path is what I'm hearing. And it all has to be paid back because these are collective energies. So when we look now, how is this affecting humanity? Well, when we look at Erika Kirk's children, and Erika Kirk's children, all I see is their hair. I don't see a face, not an expression, not a smile. They're completely turned to their back is turned. And I see this like yoke going from their neck to Candace Owens' 2 children's neck. But this is the collective, right? This is the collective. There's a massive war being waged right above our face. This is not about Erika. It's not about Candace Owens. We're looking at the template. Half of humanity, which have been of the love and light vibration, which has been with God, which is we've been doing this thing for a long time, where we feel that in every lifetime we get overlooked, or our blessings are taken away, or our dreams don't happen, or we're living, we're just modest and we never have a chance to really grow and to prosper. It's because the other half of humanity almost has our birthrights. And then now I'm understanding that the birthrights of Jacob and Esau, which were switched. This is what we are experiencing. And so those things have to be restored. This is why when I talk about the reparations, this is how we restore birthrights. When we restore birthrights, the yoke from around our necks, all of that goes away, and now we become sovereign. So Erika and Candace is just representing, like these 2 massive energies that are literally in control of a lot of humanity. The energy is what's happening to the earth children. That's what this is revealing in this moment. And so it'll be very interesting to see what happens, how this next thing, how this moves next, how Candace Owens moves next will allow us to see, get a little glimpse into what's happening to us, how Erika Kirk moves next. If Erika Kirk starts to go down, it feels as if we're going to be getting more of our freedom and sovereignty. But in order for Erika, in truth, in order for Erika to kind of go down, meaning for a lot of this stuff to come out is not conspiracy, then Candace Owens will have to give back whatever that is. And she will have to fully be in alignment with God and not the political. And I think that Candace Owens has been slowly moving out of the political. I'm not saying that she will ever be out of the political, but she's kind of taken this stance in right is right and wrong is wrong. Because this is the true stance of the true God. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And it doesn't matter if you're black or white, Jew or, Gentile or whatever. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So if we see Candace Owens really being able to put down some of her, I'm hearing haughtiness, right? And the haughtiness comes from because she's really good. She's great at what she does. And sometimes we can be haughty when we are just confident or even the overconfidence, right? So we're going to be watching these two people because they're going to give us an inkling on what's happening with us as a collective. So we may see Candace Owens kind of going into this middle ground, this middle road where, and I think in some regards, she's already kind of there, but she has to fully be able to allow her blessings and her fertility to only come from God, is what I'm saying. And fertility is not just the birth of children. It's everything that you're producing has to be produced by the God vibration. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. And when Candace Owens gets back into her natural place, this will naturally, the ancestral sort of curse or yoke around her children, this will free them, and then we will see the pulling away of Erika and almost her two children. I'm using them as just an example because we're not talking about children here. We're talking about collective energies. And so we will see when Candace Owen pulls away and she really gets in alignment with the God, you know, with Father God and with the God within, with her moral compass and with the right is right, wrong is wrong energy. You know, when she clicks into that energy field, that's her original timeline she was supposed to be on. That corrects that timeline. And then there's like a spiritual split. And then we're going to see a big fall for Erika. And it's like, I see Erika just, you know, as Candace pulls away here, the Erika kind of falls back, but her children go with her. And it doesn't mean her children fall, but that it's severing the cord or the yoke that Erika has on Candace Owens' children. Wow, didn't know we would get all of that. But that is what is going on a multi-dimensional spread. So this was a very multi-dimensional reading. So I didn't even want to come on here and do this, you know. I just was like, this is some foolishness. But, you know, Source wanted me to. So, you know, today we're moving into kind of like a 5D template. So this is what's happening on the 5D spread. So this is beautiful. I've never really seen this template before. So that was very beautiful to experience that. And then this is how the spell work goes away. This is how her children get free. And this just restores so much within Candace Owens. But there will be a massive rearrangement in Candace Owens' life, marriage, house. I don't know why I see her living in Europe, like in like a village. She might retreat there. I don't know if her family has her husband's family has some houses there in a village, but it feels like she might retreat there. But a lot of this is really riding on it is not necessarily about Erika. It feels like what we're witnessing is a deep conversation between God and Candace. This is getting beautiful. I started off agitated and irritated, but what we're witnessing, guys, subscribe to the channel, please, and like the video. We're witnessing a conversation between God and his daughter, Candace Owens. And it's almost as if I got to review. It's like you get, you know, when you pass away, you get that life review, right? We're going to talk about if that's good or bad right now, but it feels like I got to see this conversation and almost to see why her soul is where it is. And I got to go on this journey, but it feels like a deep conversation that God is having with Candace Owens' soul. And Candace Owens is very important to humanity because it feels like she is the heart of humanity, like she's holding humanity, because she is one of the mothers of our civilization, right? Spiritually, on a spiritual level. So it would make sense that if we're looking at a collective template, then the collective work would need to be done first within Candace. And in some regards, with all of our eyes watching her, if we see this shift, right? If we see this pull away to this very just, humble energy, if we see her transform within that, I think it updates a lot of our codes to do the same. And it feels like a freedom for us too. This is a collective, like an enslavement that humanity has been on for a long time. It feels like what I'm viewing is like us having a chance to become free and sovereign. So I think that now when I zone out and we talk about the fertility, as before we were talking about it, it's just Candace Owens in another lifetime wanted to have these children, right? And so she went to get a little help from, from a practitioner or whatever. But now when we zone out, we realize that we are looking at the 12 tribes of Israel, Jacob and Esau, which is humanity. So how this situation plays out is very important to how humanity moves forward. And I don't want to put so much like emphasis like you're giving them too much power. We're all representing the collective, especially on this channel. Me as Mother of the Ages, I literally represent the last line in the Bible. And, as a kid, it really stuck to me. And it says, in one of the last pages of the Bible, I'm with you into the end of age. That was my favorite as a child. I don't even know if I knew how to read. I immediately went to that part in the Bible, and that thing resonated with me so very much. It's like intuitive. I wouldn't know until 30 something years later, whatever, that I'm Mother of the Ages. But it's a collective job. It's not me, Tahira, Mother of the Ages, obviously. But it's through Tahira that I'm able to reach into these codes and understanding that I have to hold all records. I have to view all records. And in some regards, I have to go through a lot of the things, right? Because it is a collective, that the Mother of the Ages is, deals with things collectively. So a lot of the times I'll be dealing with something in my own life. I'm like, this has nothing to do with me, and sometimes I'm getting quicker with it. I'm like, oh, I know why I'm going through this. This has nothing to do with me. This is what the collective is going through, and then that really helps me to just do the duty, right? And just work through. But, when I was younger, I didn't understand. I didn't understand why life was so hard. It's because it wasn't my stuff. It's the collective energy. So this is how we want to view this. So Erika, Kirk, and Candace Owens. And I'm not putting one over the other, but it feels as this is Candace Owens' decision. How Candace Owens moves through this is how us as collective children will move, into the higher density, higher vibration. It's like Groundhog's Day, right? How Candace Owens moves through this situation. It's like, do we get 6 more weeks of winter? Does the groundhog see its shadow or no? This is what it feels like. It feels like this is determining a lot of what's happening to the earth children, Jacob and Esau, which is humanity, the 12 tribes of Israel. That is what it's given. And wow. So Candace Owens, they say, is like Esther now, but she's more like the MLK and Malcolm X in this crazy way. And I think, to that point, it's very interesting, right? So, but if you look at all of these women, these women are massive energies. And so, because we're multidimensional, Candace literally means queen. Candace has been in this vibration for multiple different lifetimes. So it doesn't surprise me if she can be, she can be Rebecca from the Bible in one incarnation and then be Esther, or then be, another figure. But these are all massive energies. So it really, it makes a lot of sense. We are multidimensional. You are not just one thing, and you don't have just one past life. You guys don't even know how powerful you are. Some of you guys are literally the vibration of Christ. There aren't any new people here. We're all just energies that contract and expand. We go to this like death state to be rebirthed. That's it. Some of us are also playing these massive roles from these different biblical, stories as well. 2025 was all about learning discernment. Yes. How to differentiate and resonate truth versus illusion and deception. Absolutely. Abundantly empowered. And it's very interesting when we think about CERN, right? CERN is going to be casting so many illusions. They got the word CERN from discernment. So if you don't have the ability to discernment, then CERN is going to do it for you. It's going to discern for you, because that's what they're going to do, casting illusions. If you can't see this, it probably, when we put these women into these, respective kind of energy roles, then maybe you're more of the Erika Kirk, child. I don't know, but maybe you're more, of an NPC in this timeline, meaning you've not yet awakened to your own divinity and spark, divine spark, yep, discernment, yep. Infinite Wonder 39, a conversation between God and his daughter. That was beautifully put. Yeah, and it took me to the end to get to that, right? Because I don't want to come on here and harp on, because when I talk about Erika Kirk, I'm not talking about her as, it's like, I forget that I'm always talking collectively. And a lot of people probably come here and be like, why is she talking so much crap? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to tell you that I channel collective energy. So when I pull this energy out, we're no longer people. We become like a template of multiple different energies and people and historical events and consciousnesses, and even in regards to myself as Mother of the Ages, because I have to hold in all things. I have to hold all things good and bad, as well. So this is, and we don't, and when we reach that middle point where God is trying to get Candace Owens into this space, well, right is right and wrong is wrong. You're kind of in the middle, and you can kind of discern based on the situation, not because you are in alignment with the political party or in alignment with this person that you worked for. And I'm hearing Ben Shapiro is popping up, and it's like you're able to discern and pull away from certain people that you may even feel helped make you. So that is the conversation, and this is what Candace Owens is really learning within this conversation that she's having with God, and what God is truly telling her is, if you stick with me, you stick in the middle, right? So I always talk about the duality focal point is when you experience both sides, and then you say the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. This is where God really wants Candace Owens, and then it's like, I'm going to bring certain situations, but I got to be able to trust you. I don't want you too far right or too far left, because you are like for the people. And so I need you to take this middle ground here. And so then when these things come up that I need you to handle, you're going to be able to discern, and you're going to be able to be it's like the people's princess. You know what I mean? It's like, that's kind of what I'm getting, and, this has everything to do with the correction of that template. I'm getting Rebecca, I truly am, because this has to do with Israel as well. That's why this Israel has been coming up, because Rebecca was literally helped to switch the birthrights between Jacob and Esau. So now that we have to she has to get back into the middle and loving both, right, of the children the same. And that's why I keep talking about, there's something interesting with her children. Remember I kept saying it's like there's 4 children, but there's only 2, and 2 of them are like a remake of the first 2. And then at the same time, like 2 of them have the yoke with Erika Kirk's children, and they're just in position to siphon what Candace Owens, the blessings of Candace Owens' children. But I think Candace Owens will meet with God and do the right thing. That's going to remove that yoke, that ancestral curse is what it is. That spell work to kind of do a cheat code into getting these children. You know what I mean? And remember, back then, children were money, power, control, status. And so with Candace Owens always been in this kind of queen energy and always kind of having these lifetimes where she was, on top and in the upper echelon of life. You do things like that. If you need to produce an heir, you go and you get it done. No matter if you have to go to, a seedy part of the village or, whatever. And it's all coming full circle now. See, guys, when you do certain things, they snowball. Everything must come through the divine. It has to be done in divine order. And in some regards, this is why we get, some children that are just attracted to the dark, just attracted to, if you tell them that the stove is hot, they'll be the first one there to touch it. It all stems back from these templates, is what I'm talking about. And Candace Owens being Rebecca, and this Rebecca vibration, switching those, helping to collude the mind to switch, because she wanted to align with whoever she could use to control the money. And this is why she really wanted it in Jacob's hands, because she could control Jacob a little bit more. And that's what, and this goes back to our 7 deadly sins of greed, right? I'm not talking about Candace Owens, but I'm showing you we all have inflictions in our soul chart. That's what I'm looking at in her Akashic soul. And that would be an infliction. And God is having this conversation with her. This is one of the things that they're cleaning up together. They're working through this right now as we speak. She's paying the karmic debt right now. She's part of paying back the karmic debt is you seeing it and you just speaking life to it, having forgiveness for self and for, how things happen and transpired. It's really simple. Once you remove the guilt within yourself, then, God holds on to it. Not, it gets released, then that energy can expand, and it's on a collective scale. So this is, kind of what I wanted to say today. I'm just reading. Yeah. So, this is really not anything to further to say. And now we understand why, I was feeling such a weird energy around the children, and I feel that her children will be okay. Once Candace Owens pulls away from this totally, because, it's like her even holding on to the Charlie Kirk thing is still holding on to Erika, is still kind of keeping her on that timeline that God wants her to move past and to heal from. Because we are literally, there's a higher calling for humanity to be birthed into a higher vibration. And so all of those things that kind of kept humanity down, when we're talking in terms of Rebecca, Jacob, and Esau, which was a really fundamental template, that's what's getting worked out. It's not Candace and Erika or Charlie. That's getting worked out as we speak. Those things are being, healed, put back in divine order, because that took us off of a certain timeline. In some regards, Candace Owens' soul has done this before, and, has taken us off of these collective timelines. So we're in the process of getting put back onto the right path. And this is what is going to restore biblical Israel. Candace Owens doesn't know how powerful she is. She has no idea when she just chooses right. She has to break away from the camp totally. The right totally. Erika, any of the allies, Tucker Carlson, any of these allies on the right, she's not to take that position. She's to take middle ground. She's to take the middle road, and she is to, it feels like, rule. in the vibration of right is right and wrong is wrong from a neutral standpoint. This is, I always talk about, we are going through the duality focal point. We are literally collapsing back into the 0 point consciousness. This is where the rebirth happens, where you explore the polarities and then you collapse that timeline. And you can do this in your own life. Explore the polarities of what's been happening to yourself over the past age or over the past 9 years. Learn both sides of the situation. You collapse back into the 0 point consciousness, meaning you learn the lesson from the right and the left, the good and the bad from it. And you use that lesson to collapse that timeline. This is how we close out the cycles. We must be the one to collapse it. You have to be the controller of it. Okay? Yeah, thank you. Abundantly empowered. And this is coming too. Yes. And this is why this conversation with God that she's having is so important, because once she pulls away from this, the Vatican will come, the Catholic, what she's in with the Catholic religion. And that's what I'm saying. Her husband, that's a weird thing too. There's no energy coming from the husband and the children. It's because they're part of the false timeline that Candace Owens is on. Once Candace Owens, has this aha and collapses these timelines, reaching the 0 point consciousness, I see a pull away where the children become back animated, right? This marriage does not laugh. There's no laughter in this marriage. I wanted to say it doesn't last, but I said it does not laugh. There's no laughter. It's not a laughing matter. And especially now, it's not a laughing matter. I tell you, these people don't see, like the last time I said, are they even still together? Is given that I don't even know if they're in the same house. But it's for a purpose. Candace is much bigger than a marriage. And this is, we are literally about to put humanity back to an original timeline. We've been off of that. And Candace Owens was a major reason, not the only reason, but a major role in how we got off of that timeline. But her soul's coming into that gnosis. And if she follows this voice, right, of God, and if she takes the 0 point and just, and judges from a middle ground, this really does put us back there. So when we see that happening with Candace Owens, then the rest of it will follow the Vatican and all of that. And that will be the complete ending of the marriage, because it's just, he's the handler. She'll have to realize that if she doesn't already. And she will win the rights back to her children, and the yoke that is around, connected from her children to Erika Kirk's children, that line totally gets severed. And then this is why, what I said, I see Candace Owens somehow doing some work in the Black community. I think she does go back to the Black community once all of this collapses, because a lot of people, a lot of celebrities and a lot of people who get really, really big, and when they become global, right? And very international, when things get hard and contractional, then we see them kind of go back to their roots. There will be something where Candace Owens goes back to her roots. I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't, do some sort of like something in, where her other people's from the Caribbean. I think Jamaica. If she doesn't find some sort of like rooting within her, kind of her core roots, I think we see that, and I think we see a documentary on it, or her talking about it, or her just expressing how it changed her, how it rooted her, how it guides her, how it's now more of her spirituality. I think she taps into spirituality as well. And this is a process over the next 10 years. And I think once she gets back rooted into some of her Southern and even, I don't know, sure it was Jamaican roots, I think she finds some of that similar to the Catholic faith. She's going to find some of it to be similar. She's going to start tapping into that. That's what I see. Yeah. Yes. Natalie says, I asked our Father for the scales over Candace Owens to come off. Yep. In Yeshua HaMashiach's mighty name. Yes, absolutely. He runs her show. They're still together. Yeah. Yeah. They're not laughing. They don't, the playfulness has been taken out of the marriage. And I mean, I don't, in some regards, I don't blame him. That this is not a fun situation to be going through. But it's also very strange that he's allowing it as well. I don't know why, but that's for their marriage. That's what I'm saying. I don't know any man that would be allowing this unless this is part of the plan. I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't have a husband and my husband be allowing me to be saying all that. And like, I already know that would not go down well. So that's a story for another day. All right, guys. Yes, her energy has changed when she became Catholic. Yeah. See, and see, this is part, and this is why we have to have grace for people, because, I've switched my religion. It's part of your awakening because you feel you're not totally out of religion, right? And so you think if you switch your religion, then, you're going to get closer to God. This is a process that she's been on. But make no mistake about it. This is her way of trying to get closer to God. No. Sorry, Candace. You know what I just heard? Trying to get closer to status. I think she switched her religion for status to the Catholic faith for status. That's what's coming through. But ultimately it still will be used for her to come into her spiritual essence and get rooted and grounded back in, in some of her familiar family roots. Yeah. He said, you called Kirk from beyond the grave with no answer. He must be alive. Yeah. Erika is hiding him. I'm sorry. Did I make that clear? Sorry. He's showing up in Erika Kirk's field. She has him. And I said, there's his half face there, kind of his face there. And that was him after the electromagnetic shock. That's him up here. They're taking something from his brain. Make no mistake about it. He's still going through a lot. This part he didn't know about. He was part of the psyop. He didn't die. He didn't die that day. But this was 3 weeks ago, roughly around 3.5 weeks ago, where this is the first time I saw them actually go in and take something out of his brain. So it could be MK Ultra something, or they're taking a little consciousness or switching some codes out, or, but it's something. He's changing. And he's looking dead here. Whatever happened to him, it drained him. But he's still showing up today in Erika field. That's what I'm saying. She's hiding him. So now his two eyes are back here. So maybe he recovered from whatever they did that day. But he's not happy. He's still controlled and hidden. Erika's hiding him. And here's his nose. His nose shows up again here. So yeah, she has him. Erika has him. But he's not happy. And he's been through a lot. And in some regards, like this evil personality that's come out of her, Charlie wasn't expecting this. She's co-signing, probably giving him those little pills at night. She's co-signing everything that's happening with him. It's being ran through her. She's co-signing all of this. But she's hiding him. He's still showing up. But there is a lot that has happened to him. A lot. And that's why she can't really cry. Because A, she's in control of all this stuff. She's co-signing it. And also, too, he didn't die that day. You know what I mean? Like that martyr thing, that was a political thing so they could line up with the George Floyd thing, because him and George Floyd share the same birthday. And then it happened on September 10th so they could really magnify the September 11th energy and kind of literally pull us through that energy portal to magnify. It was a political thing to be used as a political thing for the right. You know, that's why the whole thing happened, to match up with the George Floyd thing that the Democrats had, and now they have this thing, right? So oh, Izzy 8 said, I had, you heard Candace saying while laughing, they are all saying, George is my handler. You better not be. He responded to her to get off Instagram. But I thought, I don't know. He's definitely handler. So, Candace, whether you know it or not, he's given handler, girl. Now, whether he's a handler that still allows you freedom, that's a whole nother thing. But he's there to watch you. Or it could have even very well been a marriage for love, but he later became a watchman over her as well. But nevertheless, he's still a form of a handler. That's still a handler, whether you were a handler in the beginning or you're a handler now, or you're just watching over her or whatever. It's still somewhat still watching her, which is a handler. And she has several handlers. You can't just give Candace Owens one handler. She's too smart. I told you there's some brunette lady that keeps popping up that preps her on foreign, when she goes to foreign engagements or she has to talk about foreign government. Some brunette lady is one of her handlers as well. So she has about 3 different handlers. They kind of pop in as advisors or part of, staff in some way, but they're not super close. Her husband's the closest one, but they do that because Candace Owens is really smart. She can't have like a everyday handler like a lot of these people. Like how Kanye West, his handler was like the person who, what's it called? The person who trains you, his trainer. Yeah, she wouldn't fall for that. So I'm reading. Okay. All right, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. I love you. I love you. I love you. And so it is as we walk together in divine love. Be well, guys.